Oh, man. Hey, today's Build a Deck Day. If you've been watching my channel at all, you'll know that this was actually 2 decks originally. Now we did the addition behind us, so that deck was the first one to come out, and it was pretty old and pretty ratty. So we had to demo that one, and then we did the addition, and then we went ahead and built this deck with the help of some grandsons and a son-in-law. And originally, this whole deck area here in front of me was going to all be Trex, and I was going to replace it. But when I started demoing it and I started taking off all the old redwood, I noticed there was a little bit of rot here and there. Not only was there rot, but the 4x6s that were the beams holding up the joists were actually sitting in the dirt. Originally, the piers that were being used were only set a couple inches into the ground. I went ahead and dug new holes to 2 foot because you got to get past the freeze here.
And hired these guys to grade it out and pour me a new slab with a bunch of rebar in it. Slab all the way around is going to give us the support we need for all our stair stringers, which are going to wrap all the way around.
I set new strap, I poured new piers and a sonotube, put on some 4x4 posts. All my lumber is treated now. Instead of some of this was not treated, I changed the ledger board and I started, well, let's take a look at a little semi-time lapse.
Set my band joist first where I'm going to have the banding, and then we'll do ladder blocking, and then filled in joists in between those. Eventually we snapped a line, give us our length, and cut all the tails. Took a measurement on the existing deck, subtracted 1.5 inches for the riser and my overhang, and we had the exact length we needed for our tails. Now you can buy all these stringers pre-made at your big box store. They're like 30 bucks a piece. I can get 3 out of a 2x12 that's 10 foot for about $24. So it was way more cost effective to cut all our stringers, which was 34 of them. So it took a while.
So this distance on this joist that sticks out is just what we need to support the last piece. And that way we'll come up with the riser right up underneath here, and we'll have our 1/2 inch reveal right there. This is not the stringer that goes here, so don't anybody get too excited or get your panties in a wad. But let me just show you how I install my stringers. I throw a level on here to make sure that it's level, and sometimes that'll make this a little bit too high, and we don't want that. But we can't take it off the top because this tread or riser right here has to stay at 7.5, so we're 7.5 all the way down. So we see where it's level, we see what our difference is, and then we scribe it along the bottom, and then we cut the bottom off, and that'll bring this whole stringer down. That way we keep this tied up against this joist, and if it's not tight enough, we'll go ahead and throw a bunch of brackets on here or something just to make it more stable.
So we go ahead and we set our first riser or stringer and our second stringer, and we snap the line all the way down. And we use this line to set our riser to and do the level trick as I explained already, and we slowly just work our way down one at a time.
That is dead between the bubbles. So that works out pretty good. And our face is pretty flush across.
All right. Now all the stringers are in. We're going to go ahead and block them out. We're going to put all our beam tape on. And we're going to run our low voltage wiring. We're going to block between the bottom of the stringers, and we're going to come back, kick them into place, drill them out with the masonry bit, and put a couple tap cons to make them secure.
I'm going to run all my risers first because I've got a bunch of low voltage lighting in all the steps, and I don't want to put the treads on because then I can't make access. So we'll go ahead and just put these in here. Got that gap right about where we want it. So I got this online, this fastening system, and I was dubious at the beginning, but I've been using it and it works great. Just put a little pilot hole, not all the way through. Their fasteners in their bit, and it's self-setting. And the best part is, come back with these plugs, tap them in, can't even see them. Line up the grain. So we got our bottom riser in place and throw a level on it. Man, I shimmed this thing up and it is dead on level. We've got about 1.5 inch fall within the whole slab right here, so I'm gonna have to scribe cut the bottom of this off.
So we worked off our knees, which I love to do, and made a scribe line and came back and cut it with the Trex saw.
Take our fancy smancy fastening system. So we're gonna put one tread on here, and we're gonna use these super duper hidden fasteners that go in here. And these are just ones that are clips that go into the edge profile of the Trex.
Got this side done. Let's go ahead and wrap around and start over on this side.
What I really like about this screw system, how well it holds, and these plugs make them almost invisible. But what I don't like is that it doesn't like to take the end grain. It only goes in part way and it's not setting all the way, and then the plugs won't fit in the hole. So that means I've got to come back and I have to block every one of these spots where I'm putting this riser board in so I can get a good hold on it. And that just adds one more layer of something to do. So as I was doing this, I noticed that some of these weren't planing in the same, and for whatever reason, some of these cuts were a little bit off and it didn't plane in. And I'm like, that's not good. So what I did is I took a string from one end all the way to the other end on the 2 points I knew was good. 2 were good. And then I just went ahead and I set all my blocks right to this string, so I have the same line, going to have the same reveal all the way out. I'm going to wrap this corner, and I'm actually going to make a miter fold on the Trex. So we'll take a measurement here, and I've got 32 to the inside, and I'm just going to go over 12 because I have plenty. And when I do this one, I'll go 12, and when I do that one, I'll do 12, so it'll step down and look like it's kind of intended to do. But we're going to go get a piece. I'll show you the measurements and how we do this on the table saw. My measurements are 27 one way and 12 the other. And then you have to add 1 inch to make it 40 inches total, which just has to be exact that way so you can use the fence to get your cut exactly where it needs to be. I already have my depth set on this. You want this to where it's just shy of a 32nd through the total depth. That'll give us enough material to when it folds, it won't tear. Let's go ahead and we're going to cut the long end first. It's a little tricky. They say don't do this, but I'm going to. Now we're going to go ahead and go with the short end, and I'd rather be too far than too close. So we'll go just a shade over 12. That way I can creep up on it if I need to. And I love when the wedge comes out just like that.
So originally I thought that you had to take your time heating this, but you really don't. You just heat it up and you let the gravity of the piece pretty much just let it bend. And it doesn't take very long at all, and you're not likely to get any cracking. My first tries I overheated it too much, took too long, and had some tears.
Hell, I guess it wasn't that acceptable. Gee, Christmas.
After about a dozen more tries, we were able to become really successful. It looks quite good, actually. I used this straight edge that I mounted to the banding blocks to hold all these pieces up against straight, so when I got done I could just pull that guide strip off and have a nice straight edge, which really didn't work, and I had to use the track saw to make it nice and straight.
So to make sure I'm keeping my line, because this previous deck was already here, we want to make sure that these lines are good. Using my square here, and I'm starting to creep out a little bit, so I can't use those hidden fasteners. I'm going to have to go to the plugs, and that way I can fudge this a little bit. Since we know this distance is 22 5/8, come over here and we'll see that that's just about right here, which gives us exactly 1/2 inch overhang. The measurement to the inside of this fascia right here is 21 1/2, and we want to maintain this all the way down. And we're right where we need to be.
What's also good about this screw system is that the lid is a guide for screw placement and spacing.
So I use the hidden fasteners whenever I can, but when our distances start to get off, this gives a pretty wide gap. I can fudge that gap if I go with these plugs. And that way we'll come out even on the end. In retrospect, that is not good enough. I use that straight line and everything, and I've done this before. And you're just better off running them wild, coming back with a straight line, and just cutting it with the track saw. It comes out a lot cleaner. So I set the depth of the blade just a little bit above, so it won't go all the way through, so it's not going to take my tape. Let's see what we can do.
And it worked perfect, but I guess I didn't have video of that. So I alternated between hidden fasteners and screw fasteners, and actually did use the track saw on the very last piece, and it came out like it was supposed to. I have a small trim router that I use to do little roundovers wherever I made a cut. And finally put the last band piece on here and finish up this side of the deck so we could go ahead and start working on the corners. Finishing touches or doing these corners that are kind of be a lattice herringbone, you got to make sure you have plenty of blocking to make this work and look good.
One thing about Trex is when you cut it, the butt end joint looks bad, and if it's not a full piece, you're going to have that scalloped in it. So I'm just going to come back with a little 45 piece, put that in there. I'm going to trim router it here, kind of round it over. I think it's going to look pretty good when we're done. We'll see.
Oh, and we are done. I ran out of videos, so I guess that's it. So remember, like and subscribe and watch all the videos. See you real soon.
Oh, Carson, you're a bad dog. God darn it. Dog got in the pond.